I'll just get back and give you a bit of a view of it. I think I've done this in the past, but it's a bit of a beast. I've got panniers and packs and all sorts. It's an old touring frame which I've got set up. Now coming around, I've just put on this new light, and hopefully we'll get a bit of a view of that. And actually I'll just, and that's its beam, and I'll turn that off and we'll turn on just the standard beam, and we'll turn on this one again. Anyway, we'll see how that looks on the road in a little while, but I haven't tried it yet, just put it on today. And then I also want to try and capture some of the sounds of this musical little DM02. So hopefully we can get a conversation going on the different sounds, getting a definition for a few of the sounds which we can all agree on the 2.7 chat. So I'll pause here and then I'll start again when we're on the road. So we're riding. You're not going to see a hell of a lot. That's going to be a bit of a given. But the sounds. So there, that sound I call the whinny. If back pedal, stops straight away. So, and you can ghost pedal on that, and when you've got no pressure going to the pedals, it'll ghost pedal on the whinny, will stay going for a little while. And I'm not particularly concerned about that. It does spin the chain ring a little, but that actually makes it really good for the gear changes. So, changed gears 3 times there, and that little whinny, except for the clunk there, little whinny takes the chain over. And then when you've got serious torque happening on the pedals, the whinny goes. There's no power in it, just enough to guide the chain over the back sprockets when you change gears. So you want to change gear, get up to speed, and you can stop pedal, flick your lever, and the whinny will take it over. So you're not putting all that torque and twisting your chain. So I don't know if it's intentional, but I like it. I don't see it as a problem. Now, you may be able to hear what I call the thrumming sound, and that's getting less. So there's the thrumming with a little bit of whinny override, because the rolling speed going down this bit of hill means that there's not the torque on the drive or whatever, and so you get that bit of a whinny. And yeah, right. So maybe you can hear there the thrumming, and you can feel the thrumming, if you like, through the pedals. And to me, that is kind of like the magnets of the motor, that polarity thing that the magnets do that make electric motors work. Prepared to be wrong, could be gears. It doesn't feel gears. It doesn't feel like gears through the pedals and my feet. You can kind of feel a rumble, but yeah, but I don't know. I'm learning here, but it's not what I'd call a gear sound or a gear feel. Then there's another sound which I call the budgies, which I think is a relative of the whinny. When I'm working at a reasonably hard rate going up a hill. Get this more of a chirpy, squeaky, whistly sound. There's a thrumming and a bit of a whinny. So there we go. Now we're not going to see much now of what it's like, but I'll have a crack at putting on my super duper light. Creates quite a nice pool of light, but in this well lit suburban street we're not going to see much. I'll wait until I'm on the country road where there's no other light. Okay, I'm going to pause now. So, what I will mention, and you're not going to see it here really all that well. I'll see if I can get that screen up, but you still won't see it because I'm wobbling around too much. The fidelity of the camera is not good enough. But I've played around. I'm currently in sport mode, and I've got 8 levels, and I've played around with the power and the e-assist in the power and speed settings, and pretty much by having the power and e-assist levels very low on the first few levels, power levels, the general wattage draw is under 250 for what I've got for number 1 and 2. Number 3, the wattage gets up to around about 350. Number 4, up to about 450. Number 5, the range can get a bit high, but it sits on 450, 500. And then when I really power on the pedals, I can get maybe even 700 watts. And then 6, 7 and 8 give me more power again. I've set number 8 at 100%, and I don't use that much. But I'm pretty happy with the settings they are. They could certainly be fine-tuned, and I probably don't need all 8 levels, but because I was experimenting, I wanted to have a bit of a range on the levels, so I could, select the right gear. I wanted to be able to select the right power assistance, and now I'm coming up to a bit of a 10% slope. I'm bumping it up to level 5 and I'm dropping a few gears. And so that's that experiment, and I'm happy enough with that. I don't bother with the other modes. I don't bother with eco or city any longer, because I get pretty good economy in sport with the settings I've got. And I'll take screenshots and post them in this video when I publish it, if I publish it. Okay, now have a crack at. Right, I think I'm recording again. Heading into a bit of a dark patch, so we'll put on the new light, see what we've got. That's the new light on, new light off, new light on, new light off. Well, that's some pretty good light. It certainly reflects off the screens for the camera. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Maybe just push it down a little bit. Don't really want to be totally blinding the oncoming cars. Yeah, so before I had a 3 LED in a row kind of light bar-y type thing, and it provided a reasonable floodlight to the spotlight, if you like, of this other light, this one, but this new light with the 6 LEDs totally drowns it out. You can only just see it there, and that gives pretty good light. And I've got it aimed pretty well onto my lane, so I'm not going to bother cars too much, although they'll probably find a way to complain about cyclists, because, well, I like to complain about cars. So that is that, and I think I'll leave it there. Haven't really got the budgies coming, but then again, I'm not really pushing it today. I'm still in level 5. This is what I wanted to do. Now you'll see how the power and e-assist levels are for the particular, or percentages are for the particular levels, and so I'll just now stamp on the pedals, and pretty quickly we're getting up to 20, accelerating 4 or 5 kilometers an hour, and accelerating from a cruising wattage of around 500 up to 700, over 700. There's the budgies. Now get the budgies up, back pedal, and the budgies go. Well, that's proved me a lie. Certainly lower down the power, and the budgies disappear. So it's got that chirpy thing about it, which doesn't make me think it's a bearing squeak. It's more like the whinny, which I couldn't get going because we're going too far uphill. The whinny needs to be on flat ground. So there's the sound. This current sound I'd call the thrumming, and the whinny on flat ground, going slow or going downhill, and just doing a gentle pedal after the motor is engaged. If the motor doesn't engage, you don't get the whinny. You back pedal, the whinny stops. Power level 8. My power level 8 is 100%. And I'm doing very little work. It's basically spinning and drawing 740 watts. Put the power on the pedals. I only got up to 745. You don't get much more. Whatever settings I got on 700 on 7, the wattage immediately went down to 620, but if I power on, it gets up to 725. And again, whatever settings I've got for level 6, it's hovering around the 525 watt mark at this cruising cadence, and power on and up to 725, but I can't maintain it, as you can hear in my breath. And back down to level 5, and the cruising wattage is between 480 and 510. That's 430 there. And so, and again, as I get around the corner, power up, I can get assistance up above 700 watts. But I've got to be working hard for it. But what it does mean is when I accelerate, push hard on the pedals to accelerate, the power comes. And again, no budgies. Okay, I think that's a wrap for tonight. And so, see how this goes, see if it gets published. Bye for now.